Today here on So I Married a Mennonite, we are going to be talking about what it's like to really be a part of the authentic Amish and Mennonite auction experience.
One of the things growing up in this area, which of course I spent my whole life here, is the old order Mennonite communities and the Amish communities live in the same area. Like you can find farms next to each other and everything. They really don't interact with each other. They have their own churches, their own community events, and they don't really intermix, except maybe in business and maybe in like the one-room schoolhouse, right?
The school.
In education. But that's it. It's one of the things that makes the Hope for Haiti Benefit Auction so unique.
Yeah. So for those of you out there who aren't sure what the Hope for Haiti Benefit Auction is, this is kind of like our brainchild that we started many years ago in order to create education and job placement opportunities for Haitians down in Haiti who deserve it, but they just don't have the finances and the resources to pull it off themselves. Our benefit auction actually solves that problem by creating a funding source. What better way to do it here in the Amish country than a benefit auction?
Kristen and I have been working in Haiti for years. Kristen really more than me. We decided to start this benefit auction. Initially, our old order Mennonite neighbor hopped on board, and within 2 or 3 years, we had Amish involved and more old order Mennonites involved, and we had English involved. And we realized quite early on that we had something very unique because most benefit auctions, they aren't done this way. They're done by a community, a nonprofit will put them, and it'll be a nonprofit run by either the English community or nonprofit run by the old order Mennonite community or run by the Amish community, but not really intermixed like this. I call it maybe kind of interfaith in a way.
Do you remember like early on, we wanted to join another Haiti auction and they talked to us. They were very nice, but they made it clear that because we were not all Mennonites in that group, that we were not going to be able to be involved.
We were not really welcome. It wasn't mean. They were doing their own thing, and they're benefiting Haiti. Like it's a good thing. It's just not as mixed as we have it. People were telling us it's not going to work. There's no way that this is going to work in Lancaster County. Yet somehow here we are 12 years later.
Yeah, I think that one thing, Scott, that really reminds me of just the uniqueness of this is how this year we were even featured on the news, on NBC News. They were like, you guys have something really unusual here. We were like, yes, we know. And so they did a feature story on us the day before the auction. And boy, did people come out in the rain this year.
Yeah, it was a wet day. It was certainly a wet day. Some of you who watch this YouTube channel came out as well. I know that Kristen, you had a chance to meet some of these people.
I did. Shout out to the couple who drove in from Lake Ontario to come specifically to this auction. They've been following us right here on YouTube and learning about our story, learning about the uniqueness of it and how it's kind of really been a part of transforming an entire neighborhood.
She was also one that married a Mennonite, right?
She did, yes.
So
she wears a covering and a long dress and the whole thing. So I think her marriage to her husband ended up going a little bit more traditional, which ours could have done that,
I was never a real traditional guy, though, if you look back at my photos.
You were not a traditional guy, but the church family. You come from and the family you come from.
True, absolutely. But we also had someone come in who was part of the Holdeman community.
We did a video on another Haiti event happening in Sarasota, Florida last year. This gentleman comes from the Holdeman Mennonite group.
We had a chance to interview Holdeman ladies down at that auction. Right?
Yes, those young ladies, they were very, very impressive. I was actually told by him that particular episode went viral among the Holdeman Mennonite community because they were genuinely impressed with how those young ladies shared their story, shared their heart, and did it in a way where you knew that they weren't striving to be worldly or striving to be, different than what they were raised. These ladies were content with who they were, who their identity was. They did that so well in that episode. So if you haven't seen it, we'll link it below so that you can take a look at the Holdeman Mennonite girls from that auction.
There was an authenticity in that interview with them.
So let's talk about this year's auction. What happened, what it was like.
It was wet.
It was wet. It was wet.
But I get there about 5:30 in the morning. I got there because I bought a drone and I wanted to capture the sunrise up over the tents of the auction.
Okay, all right. So I have something to say about this insane purchase, guys. So Scott decided that he needed this drone because he needed it for our YouTube channel. He got it home, and for a week, he was like a kid with Legos. He was putting it together. He's outside. He's trying it out. He's dragging Kiefer out to try it out. And I'm like, okay, cool. Awesome. So auction day, here's Scott's first opportunity to fly the drone overhead over the big top tents at sunrise. So I never even saw him in the morning. He was like out the door.
You like the footage.
I like the footage, but seriously, man, like, one of the things that occurred to me in the last couple weeks is that lots of you know about the Amish or you know about the Mennonites, but I think the thing that we were talking about after the auction was that there really isn't a personal connection to the people. So we thought we would share with you a little bit about the people who make this event happen.
There's a sense that the people that make the food for the auction, they are coming from all sorts of backgrounds. They're coming from the Amish, the older Mennonites, English, you name it. And I got to tell you, one of the things that drives people to Lancaster County is the food of the Amish and the older Mennonites.
Food, yeah.
And you see it here at the Hope for Haiti Benefit Auction. It's all about the food.
It's about Haiti. On that day, get the food. Get
Hope
it.
for Food Benefit. No, it's not.
Oh my word. Edit that. Let's talk a little bit about the people who make this happen. I was thinking about your cousin Jim. That guy is in it to win it with French fries and onion rings.
Yeah,
he is.
He is the Frymaster.
Wow.
And him, and I think there's like one Amish guy that helps him out.
Yep.
And then literally his sisters come out and they help him out, and their kids come out. It's like a family affair, and they've been doing this. I think they were there at the first auction. Did they come in?
I think they were. We have some of his family comes from Delaware. They come out at the crack of dawn
They're like,
to flip
Lancaster
burgers.
County, let's do this.
Yeah, it's amazing. So it's neat to see your family coming out and supporting in that way, since so many of them are close by.
Another area of food that we get is with the baked goods.
Oh,
And
my word.
If you go back a few episodes in our channel, we had Elva, who was testing your baked good knowledge.
I didn't do great.
She didn't do well.
No.
She didn't do well.
I enjoyed them.
Yeah. Elva is one of the people that comes and makes the bake sale. She organizes all of it with some help of many, many other people that kind of come from that community.
That's right.
The one thing about the old order Mennonites, they know how to bake.
They know how to bake, and they bake up a storm.
They do.
I mean, we're talking about so many different varieties of pie, right? Strawberry pie, schnitz pie. Oh, my mom tried schnitz pie for the first time. Wasn't a fan.
It's an apple pie.
She didn't love it.
It's a type of apple. It's dry. It's like a dried apple.
Yeah, she just said she didn't get into it. But whatever. Then we have what else? What is your favorite pie this year?
Well, I actually didn't have any pie. The strawberry pies are always a classic.
Yeah, they're
You put
classic.
some Cool Whip on top of the strawberry pie, and it's just fantastic. It's delicious.
Yeah.
I think the other people that then come in that are also part of it are, of course, the Amish. And the Amish actually have their hands in a couple different areas. I think about the Amish made smoothies that they come out with.
Yes.
Literally every auction, they make this iced coffee, and I have 2 of them. But they make phenomenal smoothies.
Now, Dorothy is a big part of that with her Amish team.
Yes.
Her daughter was making smoothies this year, and her friends were making smoothies. And
she was at your tea, right?
yeah, she was at the afternoon tea. She was in New York City this year with me when I dressed like an old order Mennonite.
Her husband is an integral part of it too. The King brothers have been doing arguably, and you can fight me on this, the best fried chicken in Lancaster County.
You're a little prejudiced about that.
Yeah, I don't know. Can I say they can fight me on it if I'm Mennonite?
I don't. It's fighting words, but there's no backup. There's no
is.
meat on those bones.
Wow.
You're welcome.
You can just go to another video. they show up at like 5 a.m. in the morning to start the charcoal. It's charcoal chicken and
Spices on the top.
Eli does it along with Lloyd, and there's a third brother in there that I'm just dropping the name. The King brothers is what we call them. And let me tell you that Eli has to be one of the happiest people I know.
I love him. We call him Junior also. When we have the meetings at his house, that is really cool. I have never been in an old order Amish home before, like a personal residence. And they host all of the committee meetings in the basement of their beautiful farmhouse. Yeah, I went in one day. I had to use the bathroom. I walked in before the meeting and I'm looking for the light switch.
Did you forget where you were?
Well, I totally forgot I was in an Amish house. The Old Order Amish here in Lancaster County, they do not allow electricity. They allow other forms of energy. It was kind of getting dark, and there's one little window in that bathroom. I have to ask him, what do you do when you got to go to the bathroom? Like, are you just like aiming for the bowl and hoping it works out? I mean, seriously, this is a reasonable, I'm not trying to be gross, guys.
But I was talking to him a little bit about this. Our meetings were lit by a light that had like a battery, like the type of battery you might use to power like a DeWalt drill or something like that is what they use there. And he's kind of in construction, so it makes sense that he has it. When he was building his house is maybe 10 years old, maybe a little bit newer. And the township said when they put their sewer in, he needed to have an electric pump to pump sewer from one place to the next. Well, this is problematic for an Amish man. So they are allowed to have solar power if it's not tied into the grid. So he put up a solar array just to power his sewer and to power his horse barn, but none in the house because the Amish don't allow them in the house. I had a great conversation that came out of that about how over the past 100 years, the Amish have had to evolve as society has evolved. Like the Amish, there's so many Amish in Lancaster County and there's so few farms, they can't maintain their farming culture. So Amish have really set out, like the King brothers, to build their own businesses. And have done it quite successfully.
Yeah.
But this means that if they're interacting with the modern world, that they do need like business cell phones or like flip phones, even iPads that like lay out stuff digitally, they have to have for business. They just have a pretty strict rule of leaving them in their vehicle, in the vehicles that take them places and so on.
Our president of the nonprofit Hope for Haiti Benefit Auction, his name is Nate. And Nate is this 6'2", super tall, skinny dude, and he's Old Order Mennonite, so he's horse and buggy Mennonite. Well, he gets up at the crack of dawn on auction day.
Along with me.
Seriously though, guys.
Along with me.
Braggers. He gets up and he makes the coffee so that as the volunteers are coming in throughout the morning, they all can have a hot cup of coffee. So it's really nice that he does that, and he really does a great job of serving, not expecting to be served.
So Nate's there making the coffee, but along with him are the Old Order Amish, and they're making donuts right from scratch on the premises.
Smells awesome.
The day before they were making some, we walked in during setup time, and it was heavenly to walk in there. And when you walk in early in the morning, you're getting ready for auction day, it's just as heavenly then. And they make some of the best news. There's angels descending on harps or playing. It's just fantastic. But one of my favorite donuts that they make is the salted caramel donuts. They are fantastic. They taste delicious. Anything salted caramel, I swear by.
Okay. Can we just stop the tape? Hey, people, I would like to know in the comments section if you agree with Scott's pronunciation of the word caramel. He is trying to say to you, caramel, because there is a ginormous letter A in the middle of the word caramel, not caramel.
I grew up pronouncing caramel that way my entire life. It was Mount Carmel in the Bible. Those little beautiful square things you got that's candy is caramel. I always called them caramel.
How did it lose the A?
I don't know.
Seriously,
But
does anybody know? Is there a linguist out there who can tell me why the Pennsylvania Dutch say caramel?
But hey, just let us know whether you're in team caramel or team caramel.
Please, and thank you. The whole world should agree with me, unless you're from Lancaster. I'm going to know you're from Lancaster. If you say in the comments caramel, I'm going to know where you're from.
No. One more thing about the food. There's these Old Order Mennonite guys that come, Zimmering Barbecue.
It's a business.
It is.
And they have a website.
They do. A Facebook page, they do.
Yeah, Facebook, yeah.
Yeah, so Kervin is one of the sons, and I forget the other guys. Their parents actually run a butcher shop, right?
That's
so
right.
They run a butcher shop, but they make fantastic breakfast sandwiches, and they also make brisket. They're known for the brisket.
They have mastered the brisket.
They have mastered the brisket.
Yeah.
A little story about Kervin, one of the guys running it, is in our episode on the Old Order Mennonite wedding that we attended, the one that we took our golf cart to, he was one of the valets, they don't call them hostlers, I think they're called, that actually take the buggies back, park them, and then bring them when people are ready to leave. Well, they took our golf cart, because we went in golf cart, back. And then when we wanted to leave, he was one of the guys giving Kristen the business about paying them more money than what she had.
The tip of $20 wasn't enough for them.
But
they wanted more.
No, yeah, I think we didn't have them that much.
Oh, that's right.
We had
that's
I think we only had $5
That's right.
because we
Okay.
didn't know that we had to tip. And we were like, So she's like throwing lipstick at them, candy at them, and then $5. They finally let us have our golf cart.
There was a comedy element and there was an audience for sure.
Another thing we have at our auction besides food that's fascinating to watch is Amish run Spikeball.
Oh,
we
yeah.
have a competitive Spikeball tournament. We mentioned Eli earlier. His nephew, Matt, runs the entire thing, does the bracket. And there were 20 teams that had signed up to play, although only 13 showed up because of the rain. They played literally in the rain all day.
Yep.
But these guys and gals,
girls.
yeah, because it's a mixed team. It's like 2 girls and 2 guys on every team. They know how to play Spikeball.
So tell our audience, what is Spikeball?
Well, so I did a video on this the other year at the last auction when they ran it. Spikeball is basically like playing volleyball with a round net that's on the ground. You have to bounce a ball off the net, and you have like 3 hits to get it back to the net, and you're trying to get the other team not to hit it. Similar in volleyball, you're trying to make them miss the ball. Well, that's what they're doing in Spikeball.
Yeah.
And there's all sorts of tips and tricks on how to, psych out the other team. These guys and gals are amazing. Did you watch them play at all? It's absolutely, it's a fantastic
He's really
thing.
excited about Spikeball.
I am. I've never played Spikeball, but I'm just fascinated by it. It's like a dance.
Yeah,
I think it is. It's kind of like
it's
a
like
dance.
an Amish dance.
Yeah.
I noticed that the old order Mennonite kids were standing on the sidelines watching the Amish Spikeball do their thing all day. No Amish kids invited Mennonite kids. No Mennonite kids invited Amish kids. Now, keep in mind that these are the very same people who went to the one-room schoolhouse together. They know each other's families. They see each other at events like this. They might be involved in some community thing together. But I noticed nobody was connecting the two. I talked to one of the old order Mennonite ladies about it. We were kind of looking out on the field and watching the rain. These Amish kids were going. All the Mennonite kids are in the rain outside watching it. And I said to her, why don't the old order Mennonite kids play Spikeball? There's no reason why they could not. And she said, it's because our churches do not encourage competition. I was like, what? The layer of the onion had just opened further.
Yeah, because they do play Spikeball. I saw some of the kids, after some of the games were done, out there playing. So they know how to play it. It's just the idea of competition.
Which is interesting because one of the things that I've been noticing is that a lot of the big entrepreneurs, we're talking the big businesses, cement companies and building companies, drywall companies, most of them, not all, but most in our area are owned and operated by old order Amish. They might hire old order Mennonites or others, but they're not owned by them. And sometimes I wonder if that's healthy spirit of competition, if that has not been encouraged among the Amish, but discouraged among the old order Mennonites. So therefore, as their kids are getting older, they're going into more jobs that are not encouraging entrepreneurship. I don't know. What do you think?
I think there's the other aspect of pride. Growing up Mennonite, it was always you were not supposed to be proud. You're supposed to serve others. Service is really pushed in the Mennonite church. When you're competing, you're not serving others. You're trying to show that you are better than others. It's very much counter to the culture that the Mennonites would have grown up with. Older Mennonites, I wasn't old order Mennonite, but it was kind of the same thing, I think. So I wonder if there's a little bit of that pride in it as well. That's maybe playing at least a little bit of a part of it.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So obviously, we can't have the Hope for Haiti Benefit Auction without the auction itself. And the reality is, at our auction, there are 4 different auctions that happen throughout the day. There's an auction in the main tent. And talk about an example of the collaborativeness between the Amish and the old order Mennonites. You see it with the auctioneers. We had an Amish auctioneer. It was fantastic.
Cool dude. Cool dude.
Nice guy.
Legit.
Nice guy, yeah. But then Noah, he's old order Mennonite, and they're all auctioneering and trading off throughout the day from the stand. Also, a part of that that, it's Sam, who's been in our videos. He was the one that wanted to put butter in the tomato sauce, if you remember, and he appeared on a tractor auction video and our Sarasota video a little bit. But he was up there clerking. Clerk is a guy that records, or a woman that records every single item that's sold and what it brought. So they're all in the main tent, and they're auctioning all sorts of items off. They're auctioning gift basket, tools, gift certificates. Probably one of the highlights is the quilts auction.
Quilts are big.
They're
12
big.
noon.
Now I'm going to tell you though, quilts are a bit dicey. Comforters, they don't sell hard. You can pick them up for like $10, $15.
Yeah.
But some of the big quilts did pretty well. $500, $600.
Yeah, $600.
And they're, of course, they were gorgeous and beautiful. I found myself as I was watching the auction, the quilt auction, being happy sometimes, and others like, I was thinking of all the hours and work they put into these quilts, and they get sold for $10, $15. Still, whether it's $10 or $15 or $600, it's all going for a good cause.
That's true.
That's true.
Very true.
That's true. And they also sold a big grill. That was a highlight this year as well.
Yeah, it was like a $2,000 grill, guys. Like,
serious grillers.
Two men had to
apply.
literally, two men had to take it and get it out. It was like this huge, like a piano. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, it was.
It bakes bread. It does this. It does that. Oh, we have to talk about that grill. This grill is called a Komodo grill. This
Komodo grill.
Ew, so gross. So before the Komodo grill is sold, I was kind of going up to different Amish and Mennonites and kind of nudging them and saying, hey neighbor, see that grill over there? Nothing says you've arrived in the world like that grill. Well, everybody laughs. Everybody goes, oh, well, yeah, we're going to have to see who gets that there, you know. But the one lady said to me, if you're old order Mennonite, you're going to put that grill on the back porch. But if you're Amish, you're going to put it on the front porch so everyone can see it. And I was like, what? This is a thing? This is how you show your wealth. Because remember, you've got people driving buggies that look the same, houses that don't have a lot of adornment, clothing is basic, there's no jewelry. How are you going to show that you've arrived and have money to burn? Get yourself a $2,000 grill and stick it on the front porch.
They can't show outward status from their clothing or their cars, but their houses to some degree do. Their yards do.
Yeah, that's true.
And a grill will, certainly.
Yes, a $2,000 grill.
It is pretty
My grill has always been from like Costco and costs $150, and it makes great burgers. Am I going to tell the difference between a Komodo grill and a Costco grill? I think not.
You know, this leads a little bit into like the outdoor auction where they sold some of the bigger items like the sheds.
Yeah,
hunting blinds, a swing set.
Yeah, big swings and fancy furniture for outside.
Sulky.
Ooh, I learned what a sulky was this weekend.
I didn't know what it was either, and I grew up Mennonite.
Really?
I never heard the word sulky.
Okay, so my understanding of a sulky is a little two-wheeled buggy, super lightweight. You can go really fast in it, and the tires.
It looks like a racing cart.
Yes,
It
it does.
A racing cart, horse racing.
The wheels are kind of like
almost bicycle tired wheels.
Yes, but like heavy duty.
Yeah, absolutely. By the way, you had a great conversation with Rosine, wife of Nate, who bought that sulky about buggies, didn't you?
Yes, that was interesting. So
buggies all look the same outside.
Yes.
But
well, apparently when you go to the buggy maker, it's kind of like buying a new car. I recently got a new car. You know, there's different features. Do I want leather seats? Do I want vinyl seats? Do I want this bell and whistle? Do I want GPS? How do I want the lights? Blah, blah, blah. The buggy is the same way. She said there can be up to a $10,000 difference. You have like the standard buggy on the inside, or you can have the deluxe buggy inside. You can get fancy carpet that goes around the top. Suede seats, reclining, fancy dashboard. I had no idea. I have literally been out here almost 30 years and never ever thought about the inside and how plush and how comfortable a buggy is. I just assumed they were all the same. Mm-hmm.
By the way, in one of my drone shots, I saw a buggy with solar panels on the top.
Random. So
solar
random.
panels. probably powering lights inside, guarding up electric, the flashing lights you see in the buggy, and also interior lights. Some of them have these blue LED lights. They trick them out a little bit.
I'm going to guess that there is a phone charger.
Maybe, and a car battery. Maybe.
Makes you wonder.
When you have Rumspringa, you break out the phones.
Yes, Rumspringa means running around in Pennsylvania Dutch, and that is the time where parents look the other way and pray that their kids don't get into too much trouble.
Right. They basically, after the age of 16 or 18, until they join the church, they have a little bit of an era in there.
Yeah. I saw quite a few smartphones, but they were just doing their thing on their phones. Always kind of at a distance of the group, though, which was also interesting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it wasn't like they were all crowded around.
The two other auctions that we run are the flower auction, which absolute gorgeous flowers.
Yeah.
We had tons of flowers here at the auction this year. Of course, all out in the rain. Everyone's there in an umbrella. These flowers would go anywhere from like $10 to $15 up to like hundreds of dollars, depending on what's being sold.
Yeah.
And it's literally a 2 to 3 hour auction in and of itself there.
Yeah, I let Scott deal with the flowers. I kill everything I plant.
She does.
It's sad. I don't know why. I didn't learn maybe. My mom kills everything. Sorry, Mom.
It's amazing she kept me alive this long.
So the final type of auction that we have is called a silent auction. And this tends to be more higher end, unusual items, collectibles. This year, I decided to give away 2 items. The first one is we recently purchased and created the Herzog Homestead Blue Cottages located in Punta Gorda, Florida. We'll put a link below in the description so you can take a look at that. Beautiful brand new cottages, 2 blocks from the water, and we decided we'll donate a 3-night stay to the highest bidder. We knew that there would be interest in that because it's only 40 minutes from Sarasota, Florida, which is the Mecca home of the Amish of Florida. I also decided to go out on a limb this year and try a new auction item. It is dinner with me and Scott at our house that I make.
To be fair, it was an Italian dinner.
Yes.
Because you are Italian.
Yeah, you're allowed to have 6 people in the group come eat dinner with us, and I make Italian food. That's it. Oh, and it included a ride if they needed it.
Right.
Because if you have Amish and Mennonites, they're not going to bid on it and then have to hire a driver. They're not going to take a buggy here. We're
3 hours by buggy.
3 hours by buggy. Any meal that you're going to pay top dollar for, you're just not going to take your buggy 3 hours. The people who bought it are 3 young couples in their early 20s. And when I asked them, and by the way, they paid top dollar for that thing. What did they pay?
I don't know. It was like $400.
$400 to eat spaghetti at my house. I mean, seriously. But what was interesting is the one young guy, I said, why are you interested in this? I'm excited to have you, but why? He said that when he was in 1st grade at the one-room schoolhouse, I came in and I must have made an Italian lunch for all the kids and shared with them a little bit about the country of Italy. He then described to me in full detail what I made when he was in the 1st grade and how he never forgot about it. And he wanted to experience it again. You
had also dressed in traditional Italian garb.
Yes, I did. I wore like a turn-of-the-century Italian folk dancing outfit. It just resonated with him in the 1st grade. And now here he is, mid-20s, successful businessman. He wants to experience the world outside of his area.
It's really reminiscent of the way I grew up. We didn't go out to eat. You always ate at home. For many of us, we go out maybe once, twice, 3 times a week. When they go out to eat, it's a treat. And to have a home-cooked Italian meal, that's also a treat.
So one of our first dates, Scott took me to an Italian restaurant. And at the end of the meal, they came with the black billfold with the receipt inside that you put the credit card in. He looked at it on the table and asked me what it was. And I thought it was a joke.
I'd never gone out and paid for a meal like that, per se. So it was unusual only because our culture was not a going out to eat culture like theirs.
I am often surprised after all these years of living out here and all these years of being married to you that there are still things that surprise me, still things that give me pause and make me wonder the why. And I think that's why we continue to do our channel here. We enjoy doing, we really are. But it's also about us experiencing what this culture has to offer.
It's also one of the reasons we love to travel
Yeah, that's true.
That same learning thing. Well, if you have any question about how it works with the Amish, the Old Order Mennonites, and the English working together at this auction, just drop it in the comments below. Don't forget to let us know whether you're in Team Caramel or Team Caramel. We'll see you next time.